So, good morning. Here we have Rebeca Hernandez with us. Rebeca is the process content owner at Veo Technologies and works within the support team. Rebeca, hi.
Good morning, Amit.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much. What
Thank
about you?
I'm doing great as well. So thank you. Thank you for sparing some
Awesome.
time and joining us this morning. We really appreciate you leaving your time out of the busy schedule that you have. And I can understand how many weeks it's taken us to get you to this interview as well. So that's really appreciated. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
Perfect. So, Rebecca, let's start with first few, just a general chit chat. So I just want to know a bit about yourself. So just tell me a bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where are you right now? What do you do?
Yeah, I am from Costa Rica.
Mhm.
I moved to Denmark almost 4 years ago,
Okay.
and Veo Technologies is actually my first place to have a job here in Denmark or Europe. Um, so I started in the company as a support agent.
Mhm.
And then slowly starting getting tasks about writing articles, what should we do, like let's make videos to help customers and stuff like that. And then I got the position as the content process owner within the support team. So it has been a very exciting journey. I've been learning a lot,
Okay.
and it has been very challenging as well.
Okay. So next question related to your journey. It's quite interesting what you just said. You said you're from Costa Rica, you moved to a different country. Does that make you multilingual? Can you speak multiple languages?
I can speak Spanish,
Uh-huh.
that's my mother tongue. I can speak English, and I'm on my way to learn Danish as well.
Wow. Okay. So three languages which are totally, well, you can think of them as totally different. Is there any similarities between the three of them?
I wouldn't say that they have similarities.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny to see that some of the words, especially between Danish and Spanish, some of the words are kind of similar.
Okay.
So that is very fun to see. But grammar rules and structure and all that, it's completely different.
And there's one thing that I've noticed about languages, and I'm sure everybody does it without thinking about it, but the language that is your native language is the language you actually think in. Okay. So does that work the same for you as well? Do you think in Spanish and then translate it into a different language? Is that how it works for you?
Actually, no. Actually, it depends on the language that I'm speaking.
Okay.
So right now I'm speaking English, so my thoughts are in English.
Okay.
If I'm speaking Spanish, it goes to Spanish, and it happens with Danish as well now. And it's funny because Danish is such a difficult language, but sometimes I find myself thinking in Danish, or a Danish word will come out while I'm speaking English with you, for example. So that's funny.
Okay. No, thank you. So we've discussed about the languages here. Now, as you said, and this is quite an ability, people who speak multiple languages, you can adapt to do that. But now, talk me through about when you joined Veo Technologies. Were they a multilingual customer service company? Did they service in different languages at the time when you joined?
When I joined, the company was relevant smaller, and the official language has always been English.
Okay.
So at first it was English. From time to time, we throw like a Danish article or a German article, but it was very manual, very like in the moment.
Mhm.
Let's translate this to Danish, and it was one of the agents, a Danish agent, translating that article in specific. But in general, it was English.
Okay. So can you talk me through this journey so you were doing business in English. How did the company decide, or why did the company decide, let's go? I mean, at the moment, you're doing three different languages. So you're doing
Mhm.
German, French, and Spanish.
Yeah.
Why was that done? Number one, why did you think you have to go out and speak in different languages to your customers?
Yeah, we take these decisions based on the markets that we want to take over.
Okay.
So our biggest market is the US, and
Okay.
also the UK. It's a big market for us, so it makes sense that our main language is English.
Mhm.
Then we decided to go to French and German because those were the markets that we wanted to introduce ourselves into last year.
Mhm.
And now we don't have Spanish yet, but we are working on getting all the translations and all the localization in Spanish because we want to introduce ourselves into the Spanish market.
Okay, so the strategy is quite simple. The markets that you want to enter into, you try and get the language there. Can I ask you one
Exactly.
question? Can I ask you one question here? Why not use English in these markets? And the reason I'm mentioning that is because I want to know what are the challenges of just using the language that is non-native in a different, say, linguistic country there.
Yeah, that's a very good question. We assume that everyone speaks English,
Yeah.
like it's the main language in the whole world, but some of our customers are not very comfortable handling their issues in English. They prefer to have agents in their own language, have their issues solved in their own language, especially when they're paying for something. They want to make sure that they are fully understanding what's going on. So that's why we want to take the customer experience and help them in their own languages.
No, perfect. I think the point that you made there is that when you're paying for something you want to understand, I'm just imagining this. Say, for example, if you buy a property abroad, it's like, you don't know what you're buying, or you don't understand what's on the papers, and how insecure would you feel? And that's
Exactly.
that's you're spending on something. So same with any service as well. Okay. Could you tell us a bit more about Veo Technologies, please?
Yeah, Veo Technologies is, of course, a technology company,
Mhm.
and we focus in sports.
Okay.
We believe in the power of technology and we believe in the power of sports. We see how sports can transform lives. So we want to democratize this technology sports for everyone. Right now, technology in football, for example, it's only for the elite, the people who has money to pay for recordings and analyzing and have a camera person. But we want to make it easy. We want to make it accessible for everyone.
Okay. So it's basically right from the junior levels, you could implement this technology, you and I think it's more from an analytical point of view rather than, but also at the same time, you can also have memories as well. Because for as far as I can remember, the first time I played sport, I got no evidence that I was that good. I love
Exactly.
to do that, but I can't prove it. So hey, you have to take my word for it.
Exactly. That's a very common thing that we heard from our customers, because we offer subscriptions for families,
Mhm.
team, clubs, and enterprise. So we go from the very like small team, or you just want to see your kid playing. And we hear this a lot. Actually, the company was born because one of the co-founders was missing his son's games. And he was thinking like, what can we do? Like, I want to be there, but sometimes life gets in the way. So it's very nice that you mentioned that. Sometimes you cannot be there, but you can see the recording of your kid, and
Yeah.
maybe they scored 3 goals, and that had never happened before. So it's very nice. So we want to make this kind of technology available for everyone.
Now, since you're working for a sports technology company, can I ask you, are you good at any of the sports there?
I would love to say yes, but that is not the case. I have tried, but I'm not very good at sports.
Oh, fair enough. Well, at least you're good at multilingual. So, hey, you can't have all the skills there. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I'm just going to discuss is about we'll still stick to the languages, and we'll just discuss a bit more about the languages there. So you informed us how you choose to select the languages. When I say you, I mean Veo Technologies, how they select languages. Can you tell me the challenges then? Because you have been in the journey right from the beginning when they were just an English speaking company or communicating with customers in English, now all the way to introducing 3 languages. What was the initial challenges when you first were given the project, or when you were working? What did you feel at that time?
The biggest challenge was finding the correct provider
Okay.
for this kind of service. Like you get too many options, but that doesn't mean that all of them are good. Sometimes translators don't know how this should be done. Is this the correct phrase? Because, for example, I speak Spanish from Latin America,
Mhm.
and that's very different from Spanish from Spain. So that's all those things you need to take into consideration. Sometimes you translate things very literally, and that doesn't work in all cases. So the first challenge was finding the correct translations provider, and also costs are very high. Like you have no idea when you don't work with that. So costs are very high, and time, like deliverable times, could be a challenge as well sometimes.
Okay. I think you raised a very fair point there because I was not aware myself of the dialects as well within the language. So when someone says we speak French, for me it was if they speak French, they speak French. This French is same all over. But
Exactly.
then you did realize there's so many different dialects. Same with Spanish as well. So okay. So thank you for bringing that to the fore. I think it's important from this experience for everybody to learn that even when you mention a language, it's also important to know which country that language is being used in, because then it kind of gets used in a different way in each of these countries based on the culture and the nuances there in the language. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing is, how do you manage to keep or maintain consistency uh, in the quality that you supply? Because you don't want your customer to come and have a good experience speaking Spanish or German one day, and the next day
Mhm.
if they come, that experience is a bit different. So how do you manage to give them that consistent service or quality all the time?
Yeah, the first thing is align with other departments inside the company,
Mhm.
because we in the customer support department use some translations, then marketing use a different translator, for example, and the app uses a different one. So first thing is align internally that we are all using the same phrases, the same names for things, the same nuances. And then inside support, we use Lingpad, for example, of course. So that really helps in maintaining this consistency in the translations.
Okay.
And then one of the challenges that we have right now is that not all agents speak all of the languages that we offer in the help center.
Yeah.
So it depends on, is the French agent available to respond to this ticket, or is the German agent available? So that is one of the challenges, but we have been trying to align in everything.
Okay. So, Rebecca, my question to you is, since you have so many different languages, how do you manage to maintain the consistency in the quality of delivery of those languages? So I think one of the examples that we have is if a German speaker or a Spanish speaker comes to you on one day, and the same Spanish speaker comes to you on this next day, or the German speaker comes the next day, how do you make sure that the quality of service that they receive is the same?
Yeah, Lingpad has helped a lot in that because it helps to have a better overview on the translations that you have. So for the help center, like if I change something, I know that I will have Lingpad as my backup to know how to translate things. Also, it helps that we have German and French speakers within the team. So they flag whenever we have something that it's not quite accurate. And another thing that helps a lot is aligning with inside teams, for example, marketing or apps or product, because they also use translations for the platform or Veo.co. So having that alignment with them helps a lot with the quality and the consistency of the translations.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think what the way technology also helps in this case, and I've experienced it with you as well, which is if you make one change in one place, it then carries over everywhere that you have. So you don't have to worry about the consistency in that sense. So you know you made that one change, it should carry over everywhere. So
Yeah,
technology is helping you in that sense. Okay. The
exactly.
next thing. So you've experienced this and you've made your journey from one language to another. Now, if say there is a company out there that has not done that, or if they are thinking about that journey, what would you recommend them? What would be your recommendations? Because you've been through the pain. I know how many meetings we've been through as well to say, okay, these are the issues that you're facing, let's go fix them. So can someone learn from your experience? What would be that suggestion? What would be the advice that you would give to someone who's just starting that journey or about to start that journey?
Yeah, I would firstly advise to plan and analyze if the language is needed at the moment.
Okay.
Because, as I mentioned in another question, the cost could be high, and not all companies have access to those kind of resources. So I would recommend to analyze, is the language needed? And if so, look into different providers, look into different systems that they could use, even consider AI translation. the technology has become so good that not everything needs to go to a human translator. But I would also recommend not depending solely on AI translation, because the translation might be inaccurate. So if you can have someone proofread whatever you translate with AI, that would be perfect. That would be expected, actually.
Okay. The other thing is, this is a very good question. This is a very good point that you raise. It's like companies should not be rigid in terms of AI or human. It is a balance, right? So sometimes it's AI, sometimes it's human. How does Veo Technologies, how do you make that decision? What is acceptable AI and what would be acceptable human?
Exactly. That's a very good question. Whenever we are introducing a new language, Spanish, for example, we want to do it in a way that a translator is working on it because we have 130 plus articles. So doing that manually ourselves would be too much, or depending on AI, might not be very accurate for what we need. So when we introduce a new language, we like to go with translators. And then moving on, whenever you have an update on an article, whenever you have changes that you want to make, then we use AI.
Okay. Now, the next question would be around a measurement of your success. So say since you've introduced multilingual customer service, how do you rate your success? How would you measure your success? Has it been successful? How do you do that? What are the metrics that you use?
The metrics right now, we don't have anything set
Okay.
because we've been on a journey that we are experimenting, trying to see what it works. So we just like have an overview of everything. We also rely a lot on sales.
Okay.
They do have a lot of insights for us from different customers that they are talking to. German, they really like to have everything in their own language.
Okay.
And whenever I communicate to them, like we have the articles now, we have the forms now in German,
Yeah.
I can see that they are happy.
Okay.
But metrics itself to measure the success of the different languages right now,
Yeah.
it's not set in stone.
Okay. No, that's good to know that you're getting your feedback from the sales team, and this is what they request you to do. Okay. Next question is for you, which is, from a customer service point of view, from your learning point of view. So you as Rebecca, when you want to learn something, is there any events? Are there any speakers? Is there any blogs? Are there any sort of source material that you can find that you follow to improve what you're offering from a professional standpoint?
Yes, definitely yes. My go-to all the time is Zendesk itself.
Okay.
They do have this amazing support site. They have communities. They have the academy. They have reports that you can follow. For example, last week I just received the 2023 trends, customer trends. So it's very interesting to go in there and see what they have to say. But also, I have to say, Google is my best friend. Google helps you find different blogs. I do get a lot of blog posts from Layerize, HubSpot, the different tools that we actually use in the company. They send you newsletter, and a lot of times they have these trends like how to manage your health center, how to manage localization. So I would recommend just go out there, Google.
Okay.
Google is your best friend, and also LinkedIn. I found different, for example, people that works in similar positions as me in other companies. I start to follow them, and a lot of times they post very interesting things. So that's what I do.
Oh, fair enough. I think you brought up some really good points, because a lot of Zendesk users might not even realize that there is help available to them in that sense. So
Yes.
it is right at your fingertips, but sometimes you just don't have the time to look at those resources. So thank you. My other question would be that, is there any sort of a customer service event where you meet people face to face, etc., within your industry or within the localization industry that you would like to attend, or you have in mind that you want to attend? Is there any such event like that?
Actually, yes. We do get invitations from Zendesk.
Okay.
Last year we attended one that it was in person.
Okay.
This year also, we just got the invitation to assist on March. And I also get invitations to attend like online events. So actually, I just got one about guide and how to improve the whole experience for the customer in the help center. That's online. It's a coffee break, they call it. So it's very interesting to attend. You get a lot of insights from different users as well. So you can relate to them and try to get new alternatives, new solutions, things that you haven't think about. So if you can attend this kind of events, I would highly recommend.
Okay, no, thank you. And this is again increasing awareness for what is out there that people can go and explore, for people not to feel lost. So
Exactly.
that's definitely there. Support is available. All you need to do is just look at the right plus or resources or Google them, as you just said there. Okay. The next one would be, now, apart from obviously Veo Technologies supplies really good customer service. But if I was to ask you personally, if you've experienced one good example of customer service outside in your normal day-to-day life, if there's been an example where you've looked at something or experienced something and said, hey, that's really good customer service that I've experienced there, what would that be? Do you have any such examples you can share?
I cannot think of one like right away,
Okay.
but anytime that I go to a site and they have a chatbot that
Uh-huh.
it's providing like the right answers,
Okay.
for me, that's good customer service. For me, it's a nightmare. I have encountered some sites where maybe they do have a chatbot, but they start suggesting like incorrect articles or just you just have to repeat yourself. That is a nightmare. And it's easier said than done, like having a good chatbot. um, that's something that we are actually trying to test and trying to improve all the time. So for me, we can have a good chatbot that provides good answers to the customer, so we can deflect tickets. That's amazing.
I think everybody can feel that pain where you go into the circles of the chatbot where the same question comes up again and you think, okay, that's not my problem. It's something else.
Exactly.
So, okay. No, thank you. Thank you for that, Rebecca. So I think this kind of concludes based on what the questions that we had for you from a multilingual point of view, and you're sharing your experience using multilingual. Now, for the fun part of the interview there, I did say there was going to be some sort of trivia questions that we have lined up for you. So there's 5 trivia questions, and literally you're going to get 5 seconds to think about that. Okay.
Oh,
It is would you rather. I'm sure you probably have played that game at some point, but
yes.
I've lined this up. So would you rather, and then I'll ask you a question, and then
Mhm.
whatever comes to your mind, your instinctive answer within the next 5 seconds. Okay. So
Yes, I'm excited.
are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
So would you rather not have chocolate or cheese for the rest of your life?
I'll not have chocolate.
Okay, fair enough. I would have gone for cheese, but okay. Okay, the next thing. Would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella or a pool full of maple syrup?
Nutella.
Okay. Third one. Would you rather cuddle a koala or fool around with a panda for a day?
Oh, pandas are very energetic, but that would be fun. Pandas, yes.
Pandas. Okay. The next one, right? Okay, so this is a scary one. Would you rather find a rat in your kitchen or a cockroach in your bed?
Oh, I think the cockroach.
Oh, you okay with the cockroach in the bed?
It's still disgusting, but I prefer that to the rat.
Okay, and the last question I have is, would you have a pause button or a rewind button in your life?
Oh, that's a very good one. I think a rewind.
Oh, you like a rewind button.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I wouldn't ask you why, but okay. Uh, right, okay. So thank you so much for your time today, Rebecca. That pretty much brings us concludes the podcast for today.
No,
So
thank you so much.
no, thank you for your time. It's always great having you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching this video in our podcast series. Please do let us know in the comments whether you like the video or if you have any suggestions. We have an amazing list of guests lined up for you in the coming few weeks. Please do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you and see you soon. Bye-bye.